Hi, I'm Ayla with True You Systems, and today we're going to be looking at the inner struggles of 9's. So some of you might already be thinking, 9's struggle? No, 9's don't struggle. They're so peaceful and chill and easy. And that's true, but there is a lot going on inside of 9's, and a lot of times it can be inner strife and stress that people just are not aware of. So externally with a 9, it's very common to see that they might have trouble making decisions. But what people don't realize is that what's happening internally is that they might be struggling to know what do they actually want. This is because if 9's were really able to be in touch with what they want, it might mean that it's out of alignment or at odds with somebody else. And because they're so concerned with having any conflict, they suppress knowing what they really feel or what they really want. And so it can be hard for them to make decisions because they're so used to going with the flow with other people. For 9's, having an opinion can sometimes feel like they're asserting themselves too much, that they're putting themselves out there too much, and that somebody might not like what they're asserting, and that then there's going to be conflict, which they definitely really don't want. 9's seem really peaceful and calm and going with the flow and harmonizing with everyone. And that's all true. But what people don't realize is that there's a lot of internal struggle to be staying that chill. 9's spend a lot of time internally processing things in order to stay at peace. They're trying to keep the peace. They're trying to keep the peace externally with other people. They're sometimes called the mediator, the peacemaker for that reason. But they're also doing that internally with themselves. When they hear something that's at odds, they want to harmonize it inside. When somebody asks them to do something and they don't like it, they want to suppress that feeling, to have and keep the peace. And they work really hard to keep that peace. And so when people sometimes intrude on that peace or try to push them into something else that they don't want, and all of a sudden they start feeling those feelings of anger, of frustration, of no, don't tell me what to do, and then I don't feel at peace, all of a sudden there can be an explosion of anger. 9's often have a lot of anxiety that they might have to voice something that is at odds with others, and then they will have conflict, and so they'll kind of work through that, and then it's just easier to not say anything. It's just easier to not do something. And so you often will hear 9's say, well, it's just easier if I don't voice what I actually think. And so they can be highly accommodating to other people, but sometimes that means that they're accommodating to be easy, and then they aren't being true to themselves, and it causes frustration. So 9's are accommodating, they don't want to assert themselves, and so often people will think, well, they don't have an opinion, and they're so easy, so they'll just go along with whatever I ask. So that often is the case. But sometimes with 9's, and you don't know this is happening internally, there's kind of like a stubbornness that you can bump up against, where they're sort of really unwilling to go along with something. Not that they'll say no, but kind of just saying maybe not showing up, maybe not answering their phone, just kind of this stubbornness to, yeah, you can't really push me to do something that I don't want to do. But I'm not going to directly say that. I'm not going to directly confront you and say, absolutely not, I'm not doing that. Another inner struggle for 9's that people are not aware of is that 9's have a hard time fully accepting themselves, which is really surprising because they are so accepting of other people. Like crazy accepting. They're able to understand all these different perspectives. They're able to really hear and listen many sides of something. But when it comes to themselves, they can be really hard on themselves, but also not willing to see every aspect of themselves, particularly that there's anger. 9's often seem really even-keeled, and they are, but they also are pretty sensitive, and people are not aware of that. they take a lot of work to stay that calm, and it means that they need to have a lot of time to withdraw from the world. They're part of the withdrawing triad along with 4s and 5s, which also need to spend time away from people in order to feel like they can be present. 4s into their feelings, they need to withdraw into how they feel about something. 5s into their minds, what do I think about this? What do other people say about this? What is all the knowledge I need to gain? And 9s, they withdraw into this cozy place. They want to have their creature comforts, their little cup of tea, their by the fire, that cozy blanket, the warm glow in the room. Those things are really essential to 9s, or the kind of habits and patterns that help to make them feel comfortable and at ease and at peace. These can be things like majorly chilling out to feel comfortable again, you know, spending hours watching a TV show, binging with your favorite drinks and your favorite foods, and just really feeling comfortable. Or it can be going about doing regular mundane tasks that kind of make it so that you don't have to be in touch with how you're actually feeling because you're busy doing those mundane things that you have a pattern for, and it's just easier to do that way. 9s can expend a lot of energy internally convincing themselves that everything is okay. So sometimes 9 is saying no worries because they actually don't feel that it's a problem. Sometimes it's because they're trying to tell themselves there are no worries and trying to make themselves feel more calm. Sometimes they're saying no worries because they're trying to be agreeable and make sure that the other person feels at ease and that there's no conflict. But they also might be saying no worries habitually as a pattern over and over again, to the point where they're not aware when there's starting to be simmering frustration in the background underneath all of those times being amenable to others, and that all of a sudden it becomes clear, wow, there is a worry. So being really direct, demanding things, having very specific things that they want and need, not the kind of language you're going to hear from 9s, but they might be feeling frustrated. And how does it come out? Well, sometimes it comes out as an explosion of frustration if it's been so long being pushed down. But a lot of times what you hear from 9s is sort of passive aggressive language. Things like, don't we all want to get along? Doesn't everybody want everyone to do whatever it is that I'm sort of hinting at, saying that you really should do? Doesn't everyone want people to be nice? Don't we all want to come to the dinner table and have dinner as a family all together? 9s put in a lot of work to make it so that we can feel at ease around them. And thank you, 9s, for doing that. It is a lot of extra work, and it makes sense why you need a lot of time to recharge because of doing all of that. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, remember to press that like button. It lets me know what you want to see more of. And 9s, I'd love to hear from you. I want to know, what are your struggles? What are ones that I missed? What are ways that you get frustrated? What do you get frustrated about? And for everyone else, what are your inner struggles? I learned so much from all of you. I can't wait to hear from you and see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.